Good afternoon and welcome back to the second act of today's preparatory webinar to our main event, FinTech Talks 2020. We are here today to explore in which ways open finance and leadership affected our economy resilience during this difficult time. We will have a roundtable focusing on two main topics. One is how open innovation and leadership are actually the basis of a resilience we need so much this time, and also a reflection on how open finance acted during the pandemic. Let me now introduce you our guests. We have Alessandro Tonchia, founder and director of Finantix. Finantix is a technology product company specialized in banking, wealth management, and insurance technologies. And then we have with us Erik Lassus, co-founder and CEO of Treezor. Treezor is an independent provider of outsourcing and white label solution for electronic payments, particularly successful now in France. And then Sophie Guibaud, Chief Growth Officer at OpenPayd. OpenPayd brings together experts from banking, payments, and fintech sectors with a view to disrupting corporate banking and payment service provision. I would like to start now with a question to everybody. The key enablers for economic resilience, as seen this morning, are visionary leadership and open ecosystems. Which impact did leadership and open finance have on the different verticals, meaning wealth management, banking, insurance, of the financial services industry during these times?
We learned some important lessons during the recent crisis along the lines that you mentioned. We work especially in the wealth management and insurance area, and we provide software to our client. And we saw that as soon as the crisis stuck, the most intelligent of our client has this idea that it was key to first be able to provide the same level of service to client, even in a remote scenario. So they set up to be able to deliver high quality advice, even with the advisor at home and the client at home. The second level, they recognize how important it would be to communicate better to clients, to provide them with market view, investment commentaries, to give them guidance. And again, they try to organize themselves to do exactly that, thinking that not only it would allow them to survive, depending on the gravity of the crisis, but also to compete much better and to win business from other institutions that couldn't provide the same remote advice and service. Second, a few of our clients had those intuitions, but then some that rely on a monolithic technology were not able to move fast enough to get to that level of competence, whereas the ones that adopted more nimble technology, a larger ecosystem of vendors that were a bit more agile in their mindset, they really managed just in a few months to get where they wanted to be, and now they're reaping significant financial benefits.
We noticed that during this particular period of times, we have the payment industry proved to be significant actors of the services that have to be resilient about to face the challenges that we have to overcome recently. And at Treezor, we definitively thought, and we confirmed that the digital world and the payment routes can have a very positive impact in this on the solutions that would be helpful for the economy currently. And I have in mind lots of projects that accelerate their growth because they prove to be very I would say helpful on the situation. We change our mind dramatically on the way we are I would say playing with the remote work. As today we have a lot of people or a lot of employees that are working remotely, and we are making it smarter and more flexible, certainly. As today, and you know, the way we work during this period allow us to determine or to identify other way to work and other way for employees to be, I would say, either making a very, very hard and good job and either making it remotely. So we have changed the way we consider this remote work for several reasons. The first one is because it proved to be very efficient, even though we were not many at work in our headquarters, and also because employees, it's certainly now a demand from our employees that are asking for more flexibility and asking for working more smarter, and so we take into account these demands as we respond positively to this kind of concern, and we are working hard to change the way we imagine working tomorrow. And I think that it is a very good point for either the company and the employees to be, I would say, to change the way they imagine how they can work all together. So it's true. It is true for the employees and the company, but it is also true for the team. For the team to work with one another and working one another remotely also, and maybe remotely, that means on different towns, but also in different countries. Why not? So I think this context and the period we are living today allow us, I think, to change our mind on the subject and to consider how to work differently. And I think it's a good progress for the company, and we can take advantage of this. Some fintechs, so-called fintechs for good, or fintechs that promote solution for those who are isolated and those who are in I would say vulnerable position, and all those projects I would say now make sense at a level maybe more than previously. And this year, the industry and people are expecting solution, and they are looking at solutions that make sense in our society, helping those who are in need, for example, and also to cope with this particular period or this particular events, such as the COVID-19. And at Treezor, we have noticed that lots of projects that brings values in this kind of particular time are really very I would say are more or prove to be more interesting, or prove their interest for investors or for those who are looking at solutions. So I'm not sure I'm clear, but the idea is that we notice that many projects or the society is really eager to promote this kind of project, because they really brings value and they bring solution in this particular time. These times prove that the digital or the payments as well, because many people make it remotely and I would say use the e-commerce solution and use the digital to I would say to live and to be able to live, I would say, decently. And the solution is to use the digital. All the solutions that are promote the social links, or I would say not to be as isolated as if you do not have this kind of solution, are very welcome, and people are looking at this kind of solution to live their life as they can.
So I think leadership has been absolutely essential during those pandemic to actually be able to support the financial services industry, specifically to make sure that actually the employees are okay, that their mental health is right, that we communicate even more on the goals of the companies and where we are going towards. So, for example, at OpenPayd, what we have done is to put in place all hands meeting on a weekly basis, And we also make sure that employees engage with each other and they are just not alone at home and missing social links. So that has really enabled us to keep on focusing on our goals during those complex times. The second part of your question was around open finance and how it enables to actually address like keep on growing like beyond COVID. I think we have seen a real acceleration in banking as a service, specifically with the arrival of embedded finance use cases. We have seen it with a lot of people reaching out to us to support new use cases, specifically around crypto, for example, fiat on-ramp and fiat off-ramp. That's the same for in the lender industry that need banking as a service and embedded finance to actually support their customers in pay in and pay out options. And all of that is enabled through banking as a service, but as well as open banking and payment initiation, essentially.
Alessandro, I would like to ask, every successful startup needs a differentiator. What is the cutting-edge innovation of Finantix? Which role did the leadership play in the development of your solution?
We could argue if our innovation came from visionary leadership or some luck or some serendipity, but when we were a small company, we had the chance to provide our software to international organizations. And that almost forced us, but obviously we took it as a very serious challenge, to make our software as international as possible, not to hard code any language, any currency, any regulatory framework, but to make it as ready to travel as it could possibly be. And this choice enabled us to become competitive on a much larger scale, first in Europe, then in Asia, and now worldwide, but also to find a perfect target segment in international institutions that support clients into the major financial centers. They were looking to a single solution that would give them consistency across their multiple countries, and they could find in Finantix a tool that had the right flexibility, the right coverage of all the complex environment that they had to support. So at the beginning, it was almost a necessary move, but then we were able to transform it into a significant competitive advantage into this global economy.
Erik, Treezor is a clear example of how much rapidly a great business idea can take hold. What are the key drivers of such a success? Which synergies and challenges did you face following the acquisition by Société Générale?
In fact, yes, Treezor demonstrates its capabilities to grow and to be well known all over Europe. And yes, it was very challenging. The key success, it's a good knowledge or a good appreciation of the market needs. And even though Treezor was born in 2016, the idea was born in 2005 or 2006. So this is a project that was very well prepared, if I may say, and we were there at the good time, at appropriate times, and with the good solution, and with a very nice, I think, a good, I would say, appreciation of the market needs. And that's the keys of the success. So a very high knowledge of the market, a very high skilled people, because these activities is very expert. You need to be very expert on the payment industry to have to play a role. So it's very important. So being on the appropriate times, being able to have all the expertise needed, and the expertise is not only payment; it's also regulation. It's also compliancy, etc. So putting around the table all these expertise is key. Was key to develop our business. The second point, when we have decided to start the phase 2 of the Treezor project, we have decided to do it with Société Générale. Why Société Générale? In fact, Société Générale is an international bank, and this international bank can allow us to benefit all the industrial capabilities of a first-tier bank. And these industrial capabilities could be many things. It could be credit facilities, and we are building a kind of credit as a service at Treezor, but we are not credit entity, so we rely on the Société Générale factories, credit factories, and we are examining the possibility to do it in Europe. So I mean Germany, Italy, Spain, France, etc., Belgium. Also, we have the compliance point because an international group have to cope with local regulators and its internal code, I would say, or compliance code, which is not simple, but it could be a very a good differentiator, claiming that our solution is perfectly compliant with every kind of businesses everywhere in Europe, whatever the type of account you may have, because of the international part of Société Générale, we can guarantee a full compliance system that could answer to all the more, I would say, demanding project in this context. So I think it's a good part. And we also benefit the structure of Société Générale that is installed in Germany, Italy, Spain, etc. So we benefit also the local presence, so the local, I would say, expertise, either with the market and the regulators, and it allows us to be quick, setting a local presence at the project. Now it's to become a European company and not only a French one.
Sophie, you have landed in a very interesting spot about a year ago with us. What do you think has changed for banking as a service? Yes, we are obviously also talking about the COVID pandemic as any conversation in these days. And how do you put it in perspective with your prior experiences?
So I actually joined banking as a service almost 10 years ago now. So I have seen a lot of evolution into it. So first of all, when I was at Bankable, we were providing just the infrastructure with banking partners in the background. Then I joined Fidor, which was providing the banking and the processes and launching new banks across Europe. And now I'm at OpenPayd, where basically there is the infrastructure, there is the licenses, but we also provide that in a scalable way. So in the cloud, really enabling to support embedded finance use cases in a much faster way. So for me, there has been clearly a shift in banking as a service that is becoming more and more mature, essentially, with going from essentially launching neobanks to actually launching much more refined use cases. And what I have seen versus 1 year ago is that indeed we are focusing on more and more refined use cases with one-stop shop solutions, with the banking, the payment, the FX, the card processing, open banking. And this is not something that we used to see 12 months ago. So I see a lot of focus from specific segments that now want to provide banking and payments to their end customers. And I see that in a very much more aggregated way with everything that needs to be in one place, essentially. So it's really great to see so much change. Honestly, a lot of things have changed, not only about the pandemic, but the last 12 months have really been, I have seen an acceleration. I see that people are focusing more and more. Some banking as a service player focusing on neobanks, and others as us enabling neobanks, but also really like focusing on embedded finance.
Alessandro, one more question. On your website, it is claimed that Finantix makes the sale closing possible on any device and transformer distribution for banks and also for insurance. Are we approaching a time in the financial industry when quality of technology will be indistinguishable from quality of customer service? How mature is AI in complementing and substituting human interaction in the relation with customers?
Very, very important. All those engines that you mentioned, applying artificial technology, artificial intelligence, is key to both helping advisor be more productive, more client-centric, to personalize more, to provide more high quality and compliant advice. So that's crucial. For us, a very important segment is the segment of assisted advice in complex wealth management, in sophisticated insurance product. So there's typically a relationship manager and advisor between the institution and the client. And often that's very important, and our clients want to keep it that way. So a lot of our focus in augmenting the capabilities of this advisor, making a lot of the hard work and the heavy lifting for them, and putting on a silver platter the content, the ideas, the suggestions, the nudge to contact the client at the right point in time. To do that effectively, the software is becoming mature, but it requires a bit of attention to calibrate the right technology. For example, we use natural language processing to better get intelligence on clients, on products, on market out of text and news. We use machine learning to better profile the client implicitly based on their behavior, and use this profile to then automatically personalize product offering, content, actions that would fit their implicit preferences. But we also, it's very important to use another branch of AI that has been neglected recently, the whole area of reasoning or rule-based AI. Because again, when you have complex compliance rules, very specific business approaches you want to enforce, machine learning can only help you that far, and be able to encode that regulatory regimes in explicit and trackable rules is another key part of the puzzle. So only by having the right balance of those disciplines of artificial intelligence can you augment in intelligence and adequate way the work that an advisor is doing in better interfacing with their clients.
Erik, one more question. Treezor is a platform specialized in banking as a service and is now considered a leader in the French market. Now, on the basis of this experience, how do you see the industry impact on the ongoing green transformation of finance?
First of all, maybe a little word on Treezor. What does it mean? In fact, it's a play of word with treasure, the tree. So let the tree quiet. So we are promoting the cashless industry, so to forget paper forever. So that's the first point. So we are very I would say concerned, or very yes, for the green matter. So we try to do our best to promote it. This is the first point. The second point is, yes, today thanks to the technology, we can definitively work to change the way we are spending money, or change the way we are making things. That means that we are able, for example, to analyze the transactions or the businesses, and to determine the impact of this transaction on the climate, or on the pollution, etc. So at Treezor, as we are an open banking solution, we have many projects that come to us trying to set or to build solutions that make sense on the green economy. And we have set a strong partnership with MasterCard that can allow us also to use some solution or technology to determine I would say impact of someone on the climate. But we have also some ideas on the cryptocurrency to imagine some solution to, I would say, to finance, I would say, solution to decrease the impact of the pollution of people. We have many projects that are very, I would say, active on this economy. We are, with Société Générale have started a project which is Lumo, and that is also promoting the green economic, and Lumo rely on Treezor as well. So definitively, I'm convinced that the deep knowledge of the technology can allow us either to start project easily or easier start project and quick also to start more quickly a project, but also the technology can allow us to I would say to measure or to confirm the impact of a given project on the economy, and it could make us some clues saying, okay, this kind of project have a huge impact on the economy, and this one, or on the climate, and this one none. And at Treezor as well, internally, we are doing our best to limit the impact of Treezor as such. So we have external, I would say, companies that are auditing us each year to see or to confirm if we are decreasing our impact or not. So in fact, it is like what we have said previously. The society now starts to be very have a point of view on the subject, and if a project want to be really positively welcome on the industry, he must take into account the point. And I think that a company like Treezor, an open banking solution, can help a project or services that include payment to determine if they are in the right way or not. I think we can. This is the beauty of the technology; it can provide some helps. And I think this is time today. Yes, I'm convinced that the momentum is good to ask ourselves this kind of question and to start to embed it or to include the matter in our reflection.
One last question, Sophie. We often hear that the pandemic has accelerated processes that were already in place. Well, one of these clearly regards innovation in the payment sector, more and more the backbone of a global marketplace. How does leadership keep up pace when reality and not only technology shifts so fast?
So the way we are addressing it at OpenPayd is really by looking into where we get traction from discussion with prospects, signing marquee clients, flagship clients, and really deploying the solution across those verticals and accelerating with it. So what we have seen over the past few months is a lot of traction from crypto clients, from lenders clients, from open banking clients, remittance and FX clients. We have signed big names within those industries. We have co-built solutions with those clients, and now we are preparing to accelerate in all of those segments. We are ready to basically also put those solutions on the market, but also iterate fast on it wherever they fit.
Thank you, Massimo. Thank you to our fellow panelists. The time is over, or almost over, and we are actually going towards the conclusion of this amazing day after this morning chat with Sopnendu and the panel that you just heard. We're going to publish a sort of a wrap-up of the whole day in the coming days, so that you can follow and have a flair of what happened today as well. And now over to Paolo Gianturco, a good friend and partner at Deloitte Italy.
Thank you, Matteo, and I'd like to thank Michele and Massimo and all the panelists for participating in this road to FinTech Talk. I'm sure that we had very interesting topics, and I was impressed by two in particular. One is the financial inclusion. I saw how FinTech can support the financial inclusion of all people in all countries. And also a confirmation how FinTech helped to accelerate the digitalization in the financial world. And so I'm very happy to announce that in 1 month we will have the 5th edition of a FinTech Talk on the 1st of December. So stay tuned and follow our social channels. Thank you.